What's going on, everybody? Thank you guys so much for watching the show. Wanted to talk to you about our friends over at Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching sports. This app is really easy to use. You just pick more or less on a few player stats, and you could win up to 1,000 times your cash on a single lineup. Best of all, Prize Picks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for playing. Use the promo code PFF and download the app now. Shout out to Packers fans and the people at Green Bay. The scenes were unbelievable for the draft, man. I think even beyond, we're going to talk about Matthew Golden here in a second, but the Matthew Golden pick was absolutely electric when they were like, it's for the first time since 2002, the Green Bay Packers select wide receiver, and then the crowd's like kind of going crazy. They're kind of cheering, whatever. They said, Matthew Golden, and the crowd just absolutely erupts, and they go crazy. And they should, because I think that this was the perfect wide receiver to get for this offense, specifically for Jordan Love. So they take Matthew Golden in the first round, offensive lineman Anthony Dalton in the second round, Savion Williams, the wide receiver from TCU, in the third, Barron Sorrell and Colin Oliver there in the fourth and fifth, which I really liked. Went defensive tackle Warren Brinson from Georgia in the seventh, and then sixth, and then two seventh-round picks, cornerback Micah Robinson and offensive tackle John Williams. Our staff gave the Packers a B- here, because there are some conversations to have about some of those guys that were picked on day two. What do you think about this one, Dalton? B-? You higher or lower on this one?
That's probably about right. B-, C+. I'm not really sure where Anthony Dalton fits in, especially as a second-round pick. It seems like, do they not have enough faith in the Rasheed Walker at left tackle? The right guard situation was wild last year with Sean Ryan and Jordan Morgan. Jordan Morgan with a lot of injuries as last year's first-round pick. There were games when he was healthy, when he was even rotating with Sean Ryan. And I just think they're trying to figure out, they're throwing darts at this offensive line right now, especially with those two spots that are open. And Dalton, too, you've mentioned it. You think he could be a guard. Maybe he stays at left tackle. We don't know how the Packers necessarily view him, but I really want to dig in on the Golden pick and what it does for this offense and Jordan Love. This is something you're going to hear me talk about a lot over the next few months, is that they got to get Jordan Love back in the good habits that he showed down the stretch of 2023, okay? So when you talk about Jordan Love, Golden, yes, has the blazing speed, and you're going to think about the deep ball and the home run ball, but that's not really what this Packers offense was missing. What was missing was the throws into those intermediate windows underneath the deep routes, right? And you look at, so week 9 to the end of 2023, when Jordan Love got blazing hot, he was fourth in the league in intermediate passing grade, and he was throwing intermediate passes 21% of the time. Last year, Trev, he was 35th in intermediate passing grade among qualified quarterbacks. He wasn't even in the top 32, and he was only throwing them 16% of the time. The entire idea for this, for me, and yes, Golden had nearly a perfect deep receiving grade at Texas last year, but it's more about the threat of Matthew Golden over the top that Christian Watson couldn't give him because he was always hurt. That speed threat to keep safeties out of those windows and out of just sitting in that 15-yard range so Jordan Love can throw balls over the middle into those windows. That's the biggest part to me. I don't think it's a thing where we need to sit here and expect Matthew Golden to lead the league in receiving. That's not the idea. The idea is to open things up for this entire offense because Love was better as a point guard, as a distributor to everybody, getting the ball into that 5 to 20-yard range where he can really slice up a defense and then get over the top after that. So I think that's what this draft really needed to be about. That's what the Golden selection is about, is getting the good habits back in Jordan Love, because last year he had too many bad habits of trying to force deep balls and then not knowing what to do from there. If you go back and look at the second half of 2023, that's a different quarterback than we saw last year, but we need to see that guy for the Packers to get deeper into the postseason.
Yeah, I think that with the Matthew Golden selection, I agree with you. His presence, I think, means a lot for this team. And I don't mind a B- here for the Packers. I think, what was my individual grade here for them? I gave them a B. So right around the same thing. I do have some questions about Anthony Dalton, especially because he just signed Aaron Banks, excuse me. So it's like, okay, well, what's going on with the offensive line? But hey, maybe they're just trying to prioritize the offensive line. They don't feel good about the super long-term plan with the guys that they had there. I think that Dalton can be a guard or a tackle. I like him the most at offensive guard, but hopefully that frees up Jordan Morgan to be able to play offensive tackle for you. So maybe that is the plan that they have there. I don't want to be too harsh on that one because I do really like Anthony Dalton as a player. He was drafted a little bit higher than where I had him in my rankings, but I like him as a player. I think he could be a starter at guard for you. Savion Williams is just an athletic bet to make. So he's got some eye-popping plays. They're just inconsistent, but they're trying to get new talent in that receiver room because I've said this so many times over the last couple of weeks. Very real possibility that Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, Dontavian Wicks are all off of this team by the time we get to next offseason. So you needed to get ahead of it, not just with Matthew Golden, but also obviously they picked Savion Williams there. I think what I really liked about this draft was Barron Sorrell and Colin Oliver. Like, I think Barron Sorrell can be an inside-out type of a dude for you, just a really solid football player. And then Colin Oliver, man, even though he was drafted a little bit higher than where I had him on my rankings, I get it for the Green Bay Packers because of how much they lean on explosiveness for their edge rushers. And if there's anything that the former off-ball linebacker turned edge rusher Colin Oliver is, it is explosive. Man, this dude can get off the ball. Designated pass rusher type. So I think this is a solid B type of a draft. PFF staff, we at the PFF staff collectively give it a B minus, but I think this is a solid B here for me. So right around the same range, but I do like those guys that are right in the middle and in the heart of their draft. I think that bumps it up and makes it a little bit more favorable to me and allows me to look at those two bets of Anthony Belton, not knowing exactly where he plays, but just knowing he's on the roster, and then Savion Williams and saying, you know what? It could work out for him because you got those two guys on the defensive line that I feel pretty good about.